Well, Mikel Arteta has been questioned on why Emile Rowe and Fabio Vieira are really having limited time at the side of Arsenal. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. It's the 20th of April 2024 here onto the Rokani Media Football. Hope you guys are really having fun wherever you're watching us from, and continue to subscribe to this channel to see to it that we hit the milestone of 21,000 subscribers before the end of this month. And I call upon for all you people to continue subscribing to this channel. And how do you subscribe? Lower right bottom corner is the place to be. And here we come to talk about how Mikel Arteta has gone ahead to be put onto the spot by the journalists who really feel like Emile Rowe and Fabio Vieira should be getting enough playing time at the side of Arsenal. Then we are going to be talking Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka and discussing exactly what the game of football is going to be all about as far as the perspective of Mikel Arteta is really concerned. So let's see close to 100 likes. Smash this video as we discuss Mikel Arteta. You can as well go into the live chat and try to share with me your thoughts about this beautiful video that we are here to obviously deliver to you. We thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum, and for the Christians, we cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. And here we come to obviously be talking to you in the wee hours of the night. But I know some of the countries, people are really awake, because in my country it's 4 a.m. so I don't know what time it is where you're watching us from, but nevertheless I know you people never forsake me. Every time obviously show up here, you are obviously live to obviously listen to me, and really you have a go onto what is really taking place into the game of football. Now here we come to start it up with Mikel Arteta on giving the likes of on the likes of Emile Rowe, Fabio Vieira more minutes. He said it is a possibility that is always going to come when you lose a game, because when we beat Brighton, we had an unbelievable week and everybody was talking about us winning the league. Nobody asked this question. That is part of our industry. But I think there is something that Arsenal need to obviously address. You know, when you look at Arteta, looks like he doesn't have these players in his plans. I tell you, because Fabio Vieira brought in as one of the high prospective players at the club of Arsenal. You all know that. But he has resulted to be one of those players that hasn't gone ahead to obviously play a lot of time this season. Last season, I think he went ahead to obviously play a little bit of more games. But this season, Fabio Vieira has been really one of those players that has gone ahead to be affected by injuries, and those injuries have gone ahead to see to it that he doesn't really get what we call ample playing time for the club of Arsenal. And I think it's injuries, but even when he's going to come back, the manager has not gone ahead to obviously trust him to play into the team of Arsenal. Last season, he played 22 games, scored 1 goal and put into assists in the Premier League. This season, he has gone ahead to play only 10, 1 goal and 2 assists. So he has gone ahead to equate the number of goals and assists he did last season in the fewest number of games possible. That is the man himself, called Fabio Vieira. But he has not gone ahead to feature as is expected in his second season. And you know the policy of such teams, they give you 2 seasons, right? If you really fail to really find yourself doing better, you are really sold and offloaded. So for Fabio Vieira, I think if at all I'm Arsenal, one thing I can do for Fabio Vieira is to loan him. That is it. In the summer of this year, Arsenal should loan Fabio Vieira, because it's going to be hard for Fabio Vieira to get into the team of Arsenal, because when you look at the targets that Arsenal are really looking at, they are looking at strengthening the midfield. Arsenal might lose Thomas Partey and Jorginho out of that midfield, meaning that they'll be needing to obviously reinforce it with Zubimendi and Douglas Luiz. When you get in Zubimendi and Douglas Luiz, that means Kai Havertz is not going to be played as a number 8 in that midfield of Arsenal anymore. That will be done and dusted. It will be out of the equation. He won't be played as a number 8 again, meaning that he will be competing for positions of Martin Odegaard, and playing as a centre forward. What is the perfect position for Fabio Vieira? He was brought in to act as a competitor for Martin Odegaard. And if at all I ask you, and you're an Arsenal fan outside there, has he gone ahead to obviously put in the shift for this player, like the competition they expected him to give him to Martin Odegaard? The answer is no. Not so. We all admit that the answer is no. Not so. So, if you've all of us gone ahead to admit that the answer is no, then that means he has failed to serve a better purpose. He hasn't gone ahead to give this man a run for his money. I'm talking about Odegaard, meaning that Odegaard is not threatened by the presence of Fabio Vieira, and he should obviously put in a player who should threaten his playing time at the club of Arsenal to see to it that he elevates himself to the levels we expect to be. So for me, Fabio Vieira, I don't give him a chance at Arsenal anymore. He deserves to get a loan, because if you're having a player that is supposed to be deputizing Martin Odegaard gets off in the game of Aston Villa and he's on the bench and you don't get him on, that shows you how the manager doesn't trust him. And it puts Kai Havertz in a position of going to be the competitor of Martin Odegaard. And we know exactly that. Kai Havertz played his best football when he's being played as a number 10. And we know he was one of the best number 10s in the world when he was signed by the side of Chelsea from, I think, Bayern Leverkusen in Germany. He was one of the best number 10s in the world, and even Real Madrid wanted to sign him, but COVID had gone ahead to see to it that does the worst for them. So, as it stands, we all understand that it's really going to come out to a fact that the side of Arsenal no longer needs Fabio Vieira, because even when Arsenal was having what we call the accumulated number of games, they wouldn't get him in. They wouldn't rest him. So that is a clear signal that Arteta is giving us this answer that they've gone ahead to lose games. That's why we're positioning it. But the fact is, he doesn't see where these players are supposed to go. And when you're looking at the levels at which Arsenal should go to, looks like Fabio Vieira shouldn't be the player. It should be Douglas Luiz coming in through and Zubimendi coming in through, and I see Fabio Vieira either being loaned or sold. I tell you, the best option for Fabio Vieira is to sell him, and Arsenal gets in money. If they can get a team that can offer them like £40 million, better, because he has failed to elevate himself to being that player that Arsenal really expected him to be. You remember, those who watch me on the United Matters channel, I've always told you that Omar Berrada did an interview while he stood at Man City, and he was asked why he believes that Man City has gone ahead to set the highest levels of competition in the team. Do you know what his answer was? He replied and said, at Man City, you are given 2 seasons. If you come in the first season and things don't work on well, all right, you are excused because you're settling in. Second season, if you fail to work on as supposed to be working, you are thrown under the bus and they go in for another player. That's what Man City does. And it looks like even Arsenal should go in for that level, because if you're having a player and he's not really helping you off the bench, then that player is not supposed to be in your squad. A player is supposed to be competing, especially as a Fabio Vieira. Now I go to Emile Smith-Rowe. I like that player. For every person who watches this channel, I've gone ahead and we told you that his potential is really high if he could really find himself not really getting injured. But you ask yourself, with the reinforcements Arsenal are going to make in the summer, where is Emile Smith-Rowe going to find himself playing? Because if Arsenal add Zubimendi and Douglas Luiz in the team, obviously, there is no way he plays ahead of those. The midfield of Arsenal will change to Declan Rice, Douglas Luiz, and Martin Odegaard. Or sometimes Zubimendi, Declan Rice, or Douglas Luiz and Odegaard. And even when the manager wants to bring him on, it is going to be hard. It's going to be hard because he'll be having better players on the pitch. So that is how difficult positions are really becoming for these players. And if it has been hard for them to get into the team of Arsenal this season, it's really going to be more harder next season for them to get into this team of Arsenal, because Arsenal is really going to be very competitive next season. So for me, I just feel for them, but Arteta is like, this is coming to our notice because Arsenal is going to hate to lose. But I tell you, it is really vivid, because if you're really having these players on the bench and you're not getting them on the field of play, then they don't deserve to be here. Smith Rowe came on the game of Aston Villa. You saw what he did. But I tell you, I was not really convinced that he deserves to be playing only those minutes. He deserves to be playing better, because he's one of those players that we know can come off the bench and really score goals. That's why you see it that teams like Newcastle and Aston Villa are really in need of the player. And I tell you, Aston Villa can easily sign Emile Smith Rowe this summer, or take him on loan, because they're going to be playing the Champions League. They're like 2 wins away from really stamping that Champions League position. So, if you are a side of Arsenal, I think this is time has come for Arsenal to obviously come in through and really make what we call very, very, very hard decisions that are really ruthless. However much they love Emile Smith Rowe, he has been one of those players that is going to have to graduate from the academy. The fans of Arsenal love him a lot. They should really offload this player and really get in able players that can really do the job. Because if you're having Douglas Luiz, I'll tell you, Zubimendi, Odegaard, Kai Havertz, Declan Rice, what else do you want in your midfield? I think all those players are enough to see to it that they take you through the season, and the competition is really going to be huge into those positions. So I think Arsenal should really do what we call a very huge clear out of players, and then the rest is really going to be history. So we wait and see what that is going to be about, because Arteta is telling us something different that he believes that is going to come into play because they are really losing games. But I tell you, it's a signature that these are some of the players that Arsenal want to offload. I know they love Emile Smith Rowe. It's gonna be hard for them to offload him, but if you can get £40 million for Emile Smith Rowe and £40 million for Fabio Vieira, you sell them and then you move on. That is it. You have to move on and go in for players that will come in through and do the needful. You add Zubimendi, I repeat it, with Douglas Luiz in that midfield of Arsenal. Trust me, it would have gone ahead to what we call a crystal clear, all a vivid plan. You know, that midfield can really win you games that have gone ahead to fail to win, because if you have Douglas Luiz and Zubimendi when you're playing against Bayern Munich, I tell you, those two can pull out a moment of magic. Zubimendi is a more press resistant player, and I tell you, however much Declan Rice is going to prove that he's really a player that is going to come in through and really turn around Arsenal a lot, but that is not enough because he doesn't have a person to compete with. Zubimendi should be able to compete with Declan Rice and get him out of the team. Now, if you're having such a strong midfield, there is no reason as to why, if I told you are Fabio Vieira and Emile Smith Rowe and you're really planning to play huge in the game of football, you stay at the club of Arsenal. All you have to do is get out, and really get in better and better players. Then Arteta was asked onto the past week that Arsenal is going to obviously have as a turmoil. He has said, as an experience, it wasn't the best one. A defeat in the league and a defeat in the Champions League, but I'm fully focused on the on the times that we have ahead of us. With 6 games to go, we are a game behind City, and we are going to give it a real go. So, obviously, the most important game has always going to hate to be the previous game that someone has going to hate to play. We all understand that. So, in this ilk, the manager is really right. You have to focus onto the next game that Arsenal is going to be playing. And why is this game important? Because the moment Arsenal go ahead to really win against Wolverhampton Wanderers, Arsenal will go on top. And on Thursday, it will be Man City to play against Brighton to see to it that whether they get back to the top of the table. And Arsenal are really focused onto that. And when they win that game of football, over the weekend we know Man City is going to be playing Nottingham, and Man City is going to be playing 2 games away from home. You understand? Man City is going to be playing 2 games away from home, and those 2 games are really going to be hard for them because they are playing on Thursday. Remember, they played on Wednesday this week. Today, Saturday, that is the 20th of April, they are playing against Chelsea. After playing against Chelsea, they'll rest Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They'll have to go on and really play against Brighton. And then on Sunday, they'll have to play against Nottingham Forest. That is Man City for you. And I think pressure is really going to be huge onto them because Arsenal is going to be playing on Tuesday even. So, when you look at Arsenal, they're really having a better fixture. They are going to play 2 games before Man City kick a game. And if Arsenal win those 2 games, they'll go 4 points ahead of Man City. And remember, those games that Arsenal are going to play start from today against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Then they play Chelsea on Tuesday. And Man City will come on later to play on Thursday. And then Arsenal will have to play on Sunday, at 16 hours. And Man City will play at 18:30 hours. So that means Arsenal has all the right to go and watch the game of Nottingham Forest versus Man City when they are 4 points ahead of Man City, and pressure will be immersing onto the side of Man City because Arsenal will be doing the needful to obviously win off their games and kill them off. And in the due case of killing them off, they'll obviously find themselves in proper positions of obviously being a better side. Now, this question went ahead to intrigue me a lot, and I was really excited on how the manager of Arsenal went ahead to obviously reply it. And the question was really very trickery and very, very downplaying to the side of Arsenal. That, aren't you gonna be Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool? And they asked him that Arteta on whether Arsenal are on a similar journey to Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. He replied and said, well, you know that the better you become and the closer you are to fighting with the best teams that this league have ever produced. Not now, but in the history of the Premier League, you know what the margins are. And we've been at the top for many, many months in the 24 months. There is only one way, all to that you stay there or you go down. There is only one winner. So if you want to be in that mix, you have to cope with any situation that comes attached to that, because not everything is a disappointment. But if you want to be in the Champions League for 7 years, if you want to not be in the Champions League for 7 years, to fight for the league 2 years in a row, tell me a team that has done that. So he went ahead and obviously gave them a very big answer that for Liverpool, they really never came in through to do exactly what Arsenal is doing. And I think he's right, because when you look at the side of Liverpool, it took them how many years to compete for the Premier League when Jurgen Klopp came in through? I think, if I'm not mistaken, he came in through That is the manager of Liverpool came in through in 2015, right? Jurgen Klopp came in through in 2015. When he came in through in 2015, he had did he ever come close? I don't think so, because 2015 Liverpool never competed. That is 2015, 2016. Then 2016, 2017, they never really. 2018, 2017, 2018. I think it took him like some good years to obviously get into the mix. And when you look at Arsenal, they've gone ahead to obviously coming through and really start to compete for the league, I think in the third full season of Mikel Arteta. Because for me, I don't count the other months that Mikel Arteta spent, the first 6 months he spent at Arsenal when he came in through in 2020. So that season of 2019-2020, I don't really put it up on Mikel Arteta. Even though he went ahead and obviously won an FA Cup, that was like a bonus for him. But the season of 2020-2021 is the first full season of Mikel Arteta when he started to bring in players. 2021-2022, that was his second season. He finished 5th. And in his third season, he has gone ahead to compete for the league. And even for the fourth season, he has gone ahead to obviously compete for the league. And all what is being painted on the wall is simple. They've been really knocking on the door, and they are just lacking the right quality of players to obviously elevate them to that level. I think if they get in the right quality of players, they'll really thrive and really get up and running as a side of Arsenal. So that's why I've told you that Arsenal now need to go for top class players. That is it, proven. They shouldn't go below the belt for players like Fabio Vieira. No way. All what Arsenal need is to go in for finished articles to get them into the team. That's why the list of players I'm talking about and Arsenal is being linked to are really good and really good to go. The likes of Douglas Luiz, Zubimendi, Olise, you look at Gyökeres, Victor Osimhen. Those are the kind of players that Arsenal should go in for to see to it that they can come in here and compete. And I tell you, Liverpool cannot come close to what Arsenal is going to have to do, because for Liverpool, they've not gone ahead to really elevate themselves and say, all right, we are going in for the creme de la creme, all finished articles. Even this season, you've gone ahead to see to it that a team of Liverpool that would have gone in for finished articles, they've obviously went ahead to bring in Basilai, McAllister, Gravenberch, and you ask yourself, the enders of this world, you ask yourself, were those the best players on the market that could elevate the side of Liverpool to the next level? And you all have the answer as a no. You know, they failed to get Jude Bellingham, yet they had gone ahead to convince him to join Liverpool, even though they were not playing in the Champions League because they feared to break their wage structure. That showed you the intent of Liverpool, that even when there is a bigger fish to sign on the market, they cannot go in for it because they are really willing to see to it that there is a certain salary scale they don't really break. And that is really unreal, because if at all I'm a Liverpool fan, I would have gone ahead to get pissed that how can we fail to sign Jude Bellingham because he wants £400,000 a week, and that's what Real Madrid is offering him. They had to do that. They had to go outside there and really put in a shift. You understand? So for me, I think that was a red flag onto the situation of Liverpool. And what makes Arsenal a special team is that for them, they are willing to go in for those players. That's why they went ahead to sign. Declan Rice for £105 million, and after that, they went in for Kai Havertz for £67 million. Now, I tell you, if Arsenal can continue to bring in players per season or per summer of that quality, right, I tell you, they are going to become a juggernaut. Like the list I'm going to have to give you. You get £105 million, you get in Douglas Luiz. You get £60 million, you get in Zubimendi. You get you get like 60 million pounds, you bring in Olise, right? That's already a given that it's really gonna take you miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles because you are adding more quality. Now, imagine the Arsenal of this season that is gonna hate to lose to Aston Villa, West Ham, Fulham. Which other side did Arsenal lose to? Arsenal's going to lose like, are they 5 games? You get? So, do you think that Arsenal can fail to really create and then get in more points but they add in more quality players? I tell you, it's like obvious. Sorry about that. It will be very obvious that manager will be having absolute quality off the bench to kill off these games. And I think that's the next big step that Mikel Arteta should take. So, I think Arteta is going to have to act better than Jurgen Klopp. And the reason as why they asked that question was Liverpool has going to have to, on the last, I think, 7, let's talk about the completed one, 6 occasions where Liverpool has going to have to compete toe-to-toe with Man City. They found themselves winning only 1 Premier League. And the previous, or the 5, have going to have to go to Man City. So that's why everyone is asking him or herself that, can they really do the needful and really call upon for the biggest way to go of a season, you know, and really not act like Liverpool? Because for the second time in a row, looks like they had a chance to take the trophy and they let themselves down. Are they gonna behave like Liverpool? I don't think so. When you look at the age bracket of the players of Arsenal, they're really very promising, they're inexperienced, and they're learning on the job, meaning that they're really having some good future. That's why you see that Arsenal is signing players 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, because they know to it that they are building a team for the future. That is it. Then Arteta found himself being asked about Martin Odegaard. He was asked about Martin Odegaard being targeted and Bukayo Saka. He said they are constantly targeted like all the best players, like any other opponent. We always try to find ways to prepare the game to try to help them. If they try to do certain things, sorry about that. If they try to do certain things to stop us, to find other ways, spaces, combinations, this is a journey because there is always something that they try and you have to adapt it and make it work. That's what Arteta is really saying. And obviously, that's a work of any manager, that if your players are really going to be marked out of play, all you have to do is simple. We have to come up and really find a best way to really stop these players, right? And really create ways of your best players to operate. But the problem of Arsenal is that they are not having very many press-resistant players that really play wide. Saka is not a press-resistant player. And that's why on very many occasions, very many Arsenal fans have gonna hate, obviously, find me as a person who has a personal vendetta onto Bukayo Saka, yet I don't. All I want to let you know is, he's not all that special they're talking about. You cannot put Odegaard and Saka in the same statement when it comes to, obviously, quality and talent, you know? Because for Saka, his game plan is the same. But for Odegaard, he pulls out trickeries in every game. He has lots of drawers to pull out in a game. And that's why he never ceases to surprise you. That's why you saw it in the game of Bayern Munich. He's the only player that went ahead to obviously create threatening moments in the final third of the pitch. You remember that pass he gives to Martinelli, and Martinelli really shoots it where Manuel Neuer was. You get? So, he's that kind of man that really pulls out moments of magic. So, I think Odegaard is really forward, and I know why Saka is really forward, because when he receives that ball, they really prevent him a lot, easily. But it's not because that he's as threatful as Odegaard. I tell you, Odegaard for me is the most threatful player that you'll ever want your team to have when he's facing your opponents. And on the side of the opponents, Odegaard is that kind of player that you wouldn't like your team to face. But obviously, they're going to have to pass through the season. They're really having the remaining 6 big games. Can they win all those 6 remaining games? That is the huge question. And I tell you what, it's the question that everyone is really asking himself onto whether they are going to really find themselves in a position of really doing the needful to obviously stop the juggernaut of Man City. But all I can tell you is simple. A lot is really going to be coming into this side of Arsenal. Because if you are really good enough, you need to come out and really show how good enough you are. And how good enough you are, you have to obviously come in through and really torment your opponents. And how do you torment your opponents? Obviously, by having a side that can really beat off them the pack as a side of Arsenal. So, as it stands, all is not okay for the side of Arsenal until the season comes to an end, because they need to win the remaining 6 games. Because I don't want to see Arsenal implode like they did last time by really losing even other kind of games. Now, there is a very good guy that went ahead to work for Arsenal a lot, that went ahead to pass on. He goes by the names of Cripps. He goes by the names of John Chipendale, known as Lindsley Kwick. You know, he's a British merchant and banker, right? So he was a member of the Kwick family, and he was at Arsenal for some time. He went ahead to really pass on, right? He died, and Mikel Arteta was asked onto what he thinks about the late. And this is what Arteta had to obviously tell us about the late and how he went ahead to obviously see him. Arteta on the passing of Sir Chips Kwick, he said to his family, "I'm very grateful. When he was chairman, I was captain, and he's a personal figure that was very respected and loved around the world." That's why Arteta is going to let us know he did so many incredible things to keep evolving and progress in this football club with very integral and good values. May he rest in peace. That's what Arteta really had to say about the late, and may his soul really rest in eternal peace. I'm going to really bring you more quotes coming from Mikel Arteta as far as this game of football is concerned in the morning. First video is going to be really uploaded onto this channel, and you guys are going to enjoy it. Now I'm having Kasande Ben, you have been lost, brother. Yeah, I've been lost, but I went ahead to obviously plan a video there of the match preview. If you're going to hit to watch it, you're going to hit to enjoy it. Kahendo Oliver, already good morning, but it's better to sell them and sign trust players. Yeah, that is it. That is it. I tell you, time has come. Time has come. I repeat it. Time has come for the side of Arsenal to obviously move on from Emile Smith-Rowe and to move on from Emile Smith-Rowe and really from Fabio Vieira and Emile Smith-Rowe, and let them get in Zubimendi and Douglas Luiz. That is it. Because they have to move on. They have to move on. You have to be having players that can really give the players you're really having competition. That's how effectiveness can really get to full pelt. You understand? Then I'm having Muimanera. Better we sell them and get Zubimendi. Yeah, Zubimendi plus Douglas Luiz. Then Robert Kennedy, Katamba. Morning already. This is Robert in Doha. I think now, bro, no, that Gabriel Jesus cannot score 15 goals a season. He never and will never. I salute you all Ugandans. Now, if you talk about Jesus, you know for how long he's going to have to be out? And it's injuries that are going to have to stop him. I'm going to hate obviously explain to you how his season has been in the side of Arsenal this season. Every time he clicked up, you saw what happened. He really got an injury. But you look at how he was going to hit to do it. I tell you, if he's fit, he can do that. He can do that. You know, that knee injury was going to cost him a lot. But I tell you, he can score. Last season, he was just 4 goals away from hitting 15 that we're talking about. This season, he has 8. And the season has not going to come to an end. So, he might get himself into that ilk. And injuries are going to do him bad. And I tell you, however much you don't see him as a good player, I have something I noted that people really forgot. Arsenal got knocked out of the Champions League. And people claim that all they need is a number 9, right? Isn't it what you people claim? Now, Man City got knocked out with Erling Haaland. Isn't he the best number 9 in the world? When they knocked out, for a team that you think needs a number 9 to win the trophy, look at the table, right? Just go ahead and look at the table of the Premier League and tell me what the stats are really showing. How many goals has Arsenal scored this season? Arsenal has gone ahead to score 75 goals. How many goals Man City has gone ahead to score this season? Man City has scored 76. So, Man City have scored just 1 more than Arsenal. And the Man City side you're talking about has a number 9. So for me, I think it's better for Arsenal to reinforce other areas to see to it that they really give Saka to score 20 goals plus in the Premier League. They really enable Martin Odegaard to score 20 goals plus in the Premier League. They really enable Jesus to score 20 goals in a season. Martinelli also. Then Arsenal will win the trophy. I think that's what it's supposed to do, because getting in a number 9 doesn't guarantee you that you're really going to score those goals, because if he's not getting service, then he's not going to kill off those chances. I saw Jesus in the game of Aston Villa put in a very clear-cut chance for Trossard. Trossard missed it. So all what you have to do is to have players that can feed the players in your box and really kill off the chances. Havertz is going to show you this, that get me those chances, I'll kill them off. And how many do they create for Gabriel Jesus? That is the huge question. So, I think that's a very huge complaint that people will never really understand. And I want facts. I've told you, Man City, that has the number 9 you're talking about, has going to score 76 goals. Arsenal without a number 9 is going to score 75. So, you mean that if at all Arsenal had Haaland, they were not going to score more than those? Not really. So Robert Kennedy Katamba, they have too much Bokajere like Nketiah, Emile Smith Rowe, Nelson, Jesus is not a striker. I don't really agree with people. I tell you this. For the time I've gone to hit, I think this is Katamba. Robert, are you the one I found on TikTok, right? At Johnson's side. Are you the one? I really understand what people are talking about Gabriel Jesus. But I tell you, Arsenal is not a side that is going to hate to be really orchestrated to really create a lot for their number 9. That is it. Arsenal is not that side that creates a lot for their number 9, I tell you this. So, you might even get in Haaland and ask yourself, how many penalty box chances have gone ahead to be created for this guy? That is a huge question. So, for my case, I really rest that with you. But I tell you, people who say that Jesus is a striker, I don't agree with them, because we've gone ahead to see Liverpool winning a trophy without an out number 9. All they had was Salah and Mane clinching 20 goals a season, 20 plus goals a season in the Premier League. That's how they went ahead to win the league. So Man City also went ahead to win the league without a number 9. They had Jesus, Sterling, the likes of Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne. They went ahead to win the league. So that theory is really very orthodox. Things have gone ahead to change and we should move on. Look at Real Madrid. You are talking about number 9s. Real Madrid knocked out a team that had a number 9. How can you come out and explain that to the world? School me about it. School me about it. You tell me that a number 9 is really required for Arsenal to do things. In the game of Bayern Munich at Allianz Arena, tell me, even if they had a Haaland, or a Harry Kane, or a Lewandowski, or a Victor Osimhen, how would he have gone ahead to score any goals in there for you? Because I never saw any chances that was created for the number 9 on the day. The number 9 of the day was Kai Havertz. Did you see any deliberate effort that went ahead to look out for that lad? The answer is no. So I think one of the things that Arsenal should really work on is to create chances for their number 9s. Kai Havertz has shown you that every time he's fed in, he scores those goals. So that is the first thing that Arsenal has to rectify. They should really clear out players. For me, I keep Jesus, but the following players should leave Arsenal. Zinchenko should leave. Emile Smith-Rowe should leave. Fabio Vieira should leave. Edin Ketia should leave. Reece Nelson should leave. Those 5 players should be sold and they should get in other players. The list should be having the following. Douglas Luiz, Zubimendi, you get in a Leroy Sen, or a Pedro Neto, or a Olise. You understand? Then you look in for a decent left back, like Grimaldo. There is Estupian. You can look out for a very decent left back that can really come in through and really do the job for the club of Arsenal. You get? So I think that's the perfect picture that Arsenal should be in. They should add in more quality players. By the way, even if they don't sign a number 9, Kai Havertz has shown you that he can get you goals. Even Jesus can. But can you really have players that can create a lot for your number 9? Look at Aston Villa. How many chances did they go ahead and really create for that guy? So thank you very much for watching through. I'm having a CK saying good morning already. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're really watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Late night video in my country. It's now coming to 5 a.m. in my country, but all I think you guys are really doing okay. So again, you've gone ahead to retract your message. I don't know what you're talking about because I'm really leaving. I don't know whether you really have something to tell me, but I call upon for your reactions on everything that Mikel Arteta has gone ahead to say about his players of Arsenal. Rokan David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later. Thank you, Kasande Ben, for watching in through. Kahendo Oliver, Mui, Robert Kennedy Katamba, thank you for obviously watching in through. And I'm having a CK. Then lastly, Protegedi next season. We will do as Arsenal. I think next season, if at all Arsenal really gets in more quality players, because now Arsenal shouldn't be going in for players that are not proven. They should go in for finished articles. If they get in players that are really good and finished articles and proven, I think they can obviously go ahead and really cause a lot of havoc and competition into the league. I sign out. Good morning to everyone. We cover you all with the precious blood of Jesus Christ, and may the living